Hi everyone! I would like to thank all of you for taking the time to watch my flipped version of the Fall Guide-visement. This presentation is geared towards our freshman and sophomore students. I am not going to go over all the slides in depth. However, you're more than welcome to come see me for any questions or concerns that you may have. Let's begin. On this first slide, this is the my roadmap. I'm going to college for ninth graders, for our freshmen. As you can see, it's broken down into two columns. These are things that we want our freshman students to start planning, discovering, and a list of things that they should be doing or participating this year. This is a very similar my roadmap. I'm going to college for sophomore students. Again, is broken down into two columns. This column are things that we want our 10th graders to be doing, planning, researching. And these are some of the things that we want them to start preparing and keeping track of. This is a 4-year plan. Please remind the students that their guidance specialists will be working with them on their 4-year plan very soon, so then that way they can start thinking about their career choices, their post-high school plans, and then we will also be going over the graduation requirements, and for students who are interested in going to a 4-year university, and also developing their personal education plan. For freshmen and sophomore students, when the guidance specialists meet with them to go over the classes for next year, and this will be done sometime in the spring. These are some of the flowcharts, and you will see quite a few of them. You don't have to go over them in depth, but I do hope that you can go over them and give them an overview. So for example, for the language arts flowchart, remind that every student will take an English class every year for the 4 years that they're in high school. And some of the options, they can be in the regular college prep courses 1, 2, 3, and 4. For students who would like to challenge themselves, we definitely have honors and AP classes. This is a social studies flowchart. Again, for freshmen, some of them might be in the honors world geography elective. And then in their 10th, 11th, and 12th grades, these are the classes that they will be taking: the CP route and the AP route. Math is a little bit more complicated. It really depends on their test score and their grades. So I'm going to just pick one example. If a freshman starts with Algebra 1 and they pass the class, they move on to either geometry or accelerated geometry. And then they move on to Algebra 2 or Algebra 2 Trig. And then in their senior year, they will either take pre-calculus or pre-calculus honors. And as you can see, it really depends on whether they're good in math or maybe they're not as good in math. This is a world languages flowchart. The options that we have at this school are French, Vietnamese, Spanish, and Espanol. This slide talks a little bit about the consumer and family studies, if they're interested. Some of our CFS core classes in the 9th grade, and then in the upper levels, and some ROP courses. Our performing arts flowchart, our theater classes, orchestra, symphonic band. Our visual arts flowchart, everything from ceramics, photo, intro to art, all the way to AP art studio and photography. This slide talks a little bit about the career and technical education, our auto, wood program, and our career technology. And then these are just some points or talking points that we would like you to talk to the freshman students. So for example, encourage them to take challenging courses in their core academic subjects, to talk to their mentors, guidance specialists, school counselor, our college and career specialists about different career options, to stay involved in school or community-based activities that interest them, and to consider volunteering or working. This slide is for our sophomore students. Again, please go over them, each bullet with them. This slide is to ensure that the students are on track to graduate. Remind students that they must earn 220 credits and pass the high school exit exam. So for example, in order for students to graduate and receive a high school diploma, they must have taken and passed English for 4 years, and 4 years translates to 40 credits. Another example would be world history. Students must have taken and passed 1 year of world history, which equates to 10 credits. And so please go over this list with your students. Why college? We would like our students to start thinking and planning about going to college. So this slide will talk a little bit about why going to college is beneficial. This slide has some examples of jobs requiring a college degree. So these are some career choices for students with an associate degree, some career options for students with a bachelor's degree, and some career choices for students pursuing a master's, PhD, or JD degree. This slide is just some potential yearly earnings. This is a visual slide for our students so they can see that, for example, people without a high school diploma, on average, this is the income they will be getting. And they can see that as their education increases, so does their salary. So what does it take to go to a community college? They must graduate from high school or be 18 years of age. They must apply online, attend freshman orientation, remind them that the SAT and or the ACT tests are not required, that the community college registration takes place in the spring of their senior year, and even students interested in applying to four-year universities and or colleges, that we want them to still register at a community college as a backup. We understand that not every student wants to pursue a four-year university or college degree. So some options might be for students who are interested in becoming a chef. Perhaps they would like to enroll at Le Cordon Bleu. If students are interested in art, graphic design, the Art Institute might be an option for them. These are some of our local feeder community colleges that we work with, and they offer some excellent career and certificate programs. So for example, Golden West, they offer some excellent career and certificate programs in automotive collision repair, cosmetology, and law enforcement. Again, these are just some of the few things that I picked out, but please go over with them the benefits of going to these community colleges and pursuing their interests. For students interested in going to a four-year university, the UC and CSUs are public universities, and remind them that all of their academic core classes, they must receive a grade of C or better. Again, is a grade of C or better, and go over the A through G requirements. For students who receive a D or an F, please encourage them to see their guidance specialist and or counselor to find out the remedial options. Some testing that we want to go over. The PSAT test is for our sophomores and juniors. Remind them that this year, the PSAT test will be offered here at Westminster High School on Wednesday, October 16th at 7:30. and to see Ms. Kinnaman in the College and Career Center for more information. For students pursuing a four-year university, they must take the SAT and or ACT with writing. For the SAT test, for some private schools and some universities, they also recommend the SAT subject test. I know for the UCs, for certain majors, they also recommend the SAT subject test. So to register for the SAT test, they should go to collegeboard.com. And for the ACT test, they should go to actstudent.org. Please remind students that if they're low income, to see Ms. Kinnaman in the College and Career Center for fee waivers. We often get students asking us what's the difference between the SAT and the ACT. So on this column, SAT, and the right-hand side, the ACT. I've also included some quick facts or statistics on the UC system, the fall 2013 freshman class. So for example, on this side, UC Berkeley, last year they admitted 20.8% of their applications or applicants. The average weighted GPA, the average SAT reading, average math, average writing, and average ACT score. In conclusion, we encourage students to pass their classes the first time around because there are very few remediation options, to keep up their GPA, to take the SAT test, and to keep their options open. And here's a list of some useful resources that we would like the students to start exploring. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen. Any questions, please come see me anytime. Thank you.